All right, welcome to the One We're Talking to Experience Radio Show Experience Show for Saturday, March 18th. We had previous engagement this morning. We went to support Philly Truce at their event. So now this is our guest. She is a senior. She's a writer, a songstress. She has a powerful story. And hopefully that's her story about her journey where she is now. And she says her phase about that she want to do in 2023. It's not profound. It's still early 2023, so give it up to Miss Marquishia Deshea.
Yes.
How are you this morning?
I am really doing well. Thank you so much for having me here today.
You're welcome. You're definitely welcome. How was your week?
It's been good. It's been, a long, crazy week, but I'm glad that I'm here. I made it.
Yes,
it was like the goal for the week to get here, and
yes,
I did. So
yes, we made around the corner. Spring's around the corner. This year we had no snow.
No snow. Praise God.
Yes,
no
the biggest time we think about what we go our problems, but think about it. We had no snowstorms in the whole winter. We had to shovel and snow.
No, didn't have to shovel, salt, nothing.
Yes.
We are so glad about that.
Yes. So, can you tell us, an artist, who is Marquishia?
So, I am who is Marquishia? Marquishia is I'm an administrative assistant by trade. I am music director at my church, very involved. Music director, webmaster, social media, lots of stuff at my church. I am a graphic designer. I have a media business called Second Unit Media, where we specialize in internet commercials for small businesses. And those are commercials that you can use across Instagram, Zoom, Facebook, anywhere on social media. But you could also, we try to make them high quality enough that if you could get them on television, you could also use it for that. So anything that you need, websites, flyers, all that kind of stuff, I do. I sing, obviously. I've been singing. See, I had my first solo at 14. Most people are like, oh, I was 5 years old. No, I had my first solo at 14, and I've been hooked ever since. I write. I have 2 self-published books on Amazon that I don't really talk about enough because it was a series and I never finished it. So, but also I write skits. I write stage plays. So my shirt says Auntie does it all. I literally do a little bit of everything.
Wow, I can tell you're very skilled, very talented. So you do a lot. So,
I do a lot, yes.
So who was Marquishia growing up?
Oh gosh, growing up, I was incredibly insecure. I had lots of traumatic, not terribly traumatic, but I guess by today's standards, it would be traumatic. My mother was a drug addict, so raised by my grandmother and my aunt, who did really wonderful things. They got us involved in church. My grandmother did, kept us on a straight and narrow, made sure we did our schoolwork, all that kind of things. School was fun, school musicals, marching band, a little bit of a nerd. Got bullied. There were 2 boys at school who thought every day it would be fun to just follow me around and call me names from the time I arrived onto the school lot until we left. So it was interesting, but I found solace in church. Like I said, at 13, 14, my grandmother started making us go to church, go get your butt up on a Sunday morning and go into the house of the Lord. And it was like a light bulb came on. It's like suddenly like, this is a place where I belong. So growing up in church, like in my teenage years where I really, really needed it. Prior to that, we were little heathens running around all over the place, getting in all kinds of trouble. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been very interesting and fun.
So you said you grew up that your mom was on drugs, and also you dealt with being bullied. Have you talked to your mom since then?
Yeah, my mom.
Has she got clean or?
Yes. Oh. So I actually got pregnant at 17. And my mom went cold turkey for her granddaughter.
Wow.
Yes. And when I tell you that is nothing but God, that has shaped my view of addiction. But my mom had been, she'd been on drugs for a while. And she came to me one night and she said, what did she say to me? She's like, I need you to stand up for me. It's like the middle of the night, right? I hadn't told anybody. I think I had told one aunt at this point. And she was like, stand up for me. And I was like, no, it's late. What do you want? She's like, just stand up. I need to look at you. I was like, yes, Mom, I'm pregnant. Like, can you leave me alone and let me go to sleep? And a couple days later, came home from school and my mom was outside of my grandmother's house digging in the dirt, planting flowers. And I was like, what are you doing? She's I'm planting flowers. And she used that for her recovery. By the time my daughter was born, this had to be in February, beginning of February. In June, when my daughter was born, my mother was clean.
Wow. She's been clean ever since.
She's been clean ever since.
Wow.
A couple years after that, I say 4 years after that, she gave up cigarettes. And she's clean ever since.
Wow.
And my daughter is going to be 30 this year. So 30 years clean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is nothing but God.
That's nothing but God. That's
nothing but God. Absolutely.
So, wow. Killing. Wow. She did this went cold turkey. She found signs of something else.
Yes.
To help her cure that situation because she didn't want to be that for her granddaughter.
Exactly.
So her granddaughter didn't want to see that. So now she's 30 years clean. That's nothing but God all by itself.
It is amazing. And my daughter is the oldest of, there's 15 grandchildren. Yeah. So, and my mom's been an awesome nana to all of her grandchildren.
Wow, that's a blessing. That's a true blessing. Yeah, wow. So you said you was also bullied growing up by 2 boys.
Yep.
How did you? I know church was a part of your healing. How did you deal with that? How did you find solace, and how did you talk to someone at that time?
You know what? I didn't. You just kind of 30 years ago, bullying wasn't like what it is today. You know what I mean? It was like today, you go to a counselor or whatever. 30 years ago, you just kind of suck it up. Just deal with it. Just, okay, whatever. And it's a thing, a part of me that still at times I look at myself and I still see that girl that was picked on and bullied or whatever. But you just kind of take, I don't know. I never really I had a lot of insecurities growing up. And even into young adulthood, I would say until I was about 35, I was still kind of down on myself, very much insecure, just looking like, how did we get here? You know what I mean? But at 37, I separated from my husband.
Wow, sorry to hear that.
I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just the end of the late.
Yeah. It wasn't very. It was. You know what? It was. At the time, it was very traumatic. So the end of your high school sweetheart, somebody I'd loved my entire life, and at the end of it, it was like, okay, this is not working, but wanting so hard to hold on to my vows and say, you know what, God, I said for better, for worse.
That's right.
And my mother-in-law came to me one day, and I very much in a depressed state, like on my couch. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't doing anything. And she's like, okay, enough is enough. She said, you've done all you can. He's my son, and I'm going to love him. You're my daughter. I'm always going to love you, but enough is enough. You gotta do something. It's not working. So, at 37, we had been married for 17 years. We had been together for 21 years. And I was like, all right, give, I yield, whatever. It's not working. So, we separated, divorced, and it was right around that time that I started seeing something more in myself. I wasn't just a housewife. I wasn't his wife, my daughter's mom, my mom's daughter. You know what I mean? Like, that's when I started to figure out who Marquishia is. Like, what do you want to do with yourself? At 37, I still didn't know what I wanted to be when I grow up. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I'm getting there. But it had been like a long journey of trying to figure myself out. And now at 48, I think I'm comfortable with who I am.
Wow.
So yeah, 11 years of going, all right, is this it? No, maybe not that. No, which is how I've gotten to be talented and skilled at so many different things. Just
right.
trying to figure out who I am. Yeah.
Right. So heck,
it's okay.
I'm trying to. So basically, you grew up. Your mom dealt with drugs. She got clean. Then you dealt bully. You dealt with it. Then you was in a marriage for over 20 years.
17 years.
17 years. You decided to leave. Now, for the past 11 years, you started finding yourself.
Yes.
My question is, why do you find this? Why it took you to be divorced to find yourself? Why you didn't find yourself while I was in a marriage?
You know what? Because at the time, like, it was working full time, being a mother full time, being a wife full time, going to church, being an aunt, being a daughter, a lot of family responsibilities. I am the oldest of 6 children. And we have a large family. Like, I'm the oldest of 6, but my mom is one of 15. But we're a very tight-knit family. So, see each other every day. Lived across the street from my mom, my grandmother, my aunts. I couldn't go to the store without running into family. So there was a lot of different things. It was always, oh, Keisha, can you do this? Oh, Keisha, can you do that? Can you take? Can I borrow? Can I have? Can you bring me? Can you take me? Like, all sorts of little things that never really gave me a chance to breathe or to take time to say, okay, Marquishia, what do you want to do?
Oh,
so, my daughter being a teenager, coming through, she was very involved in the arts. So it was, okay, what do you, okay, we can't because she has this, and this weekend. Or this is happening at church, or the family is doing this, or, the husband's got to do this. So there was never really time to kind of find what I wanted to do.
Right.
And there were things that I did that I really enjoyed. I was very active in community theater. Love that. I was head of the youth ministry. I was directing the youth choir. I was doing like a lot of things at church. Stuff that I didn't really want to do, but there was a need for it and there was no one else to do it. So like I stepped in to fill that need, or someone would say, hey, could you do this for me? And I'd be like, oh yeah, sure. And then the next thing you know, you teach one praise dance. Now you've got a praise dance ministry, or you sing one song and now you've got like a group. So there was all these different things and trying to fill needs for other people that never allowed me the time to fill the need for myself. It wasn't until after my daughter graduated high school and she was doing her college stuff and then, divorced, and actually took a step back from church for a while, left my church and was like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So in that time, figuring out what I wanted to do, if I wanted to do anything. Some days it was just like, what, I'm just going to sit home. I don't feel like doing nothing today. And allowing myself that space to do that. So that's what 11 years has allowed me to do.
Right. So that's how the start with the how you get to, like, that's where the creativity started. Your career, like, in terms of shirts making, create, like, he was like second unit media. That's where all that stuff started.
Yeah. So the writing and the singing, like I said, I started singing at 14, and I did musical theater all through high school. And after I had my daughter, there was a break. But after a certain time, she wanted to get involved in musical theater. So back to musical theater we went. She was doing little theater, and then I started doing shows with the little theater group in the evening. She went to school for performing arts. I would say, so always did that. Did praise dancing at church, directed the youth choir, but then in 2012, a lady from my church asked me to write a play. She was like, hey, I'm gonna do a play. I was like, okay. She's like, I know you do theater. I said, oh yeah, I can bring some people over. She said, well, why don't you just write me one? And I went, nah. And she came back to me a little. She's like, so you ready to write that? And I said, let me give you a slow no, a slow yes as opposed to a quick no. And we just kind of went back and forth a little bit. And I finally said, all right, Miss Seal, I'll do that. I'll write a show. And so I did. I wrote a show called My Sister's Keeper, and we did it in 2013. We did it twice. Up until then, I had always done like little skits for different church programs or whatever. So we did that. It was a full fleshed out musical, 2 hours roughly. And then we did that twice. And after that, I was like, oh, I can do some writing. I really enjoyed the writing process. It, little cathartic, get your stuff out, work through some things through your writing. I really enjoyed that. And then in 2014, I decided to quit my job. I left my corporate job. I cashed out my 401k and decided that I was just going to live for the year 2014. And I did that. And in 2014, I think from 2014 until like 2016, I kind of was doing whatever I wanted to do. During that time is where Second Unit Media came up. A friend of mine had written a movie, and he was working on turning that movie into a TV series. And he was out in town one day. He was like, hey, you want to help, whatever, come out. He posted on Facebook. So I went down there. I was like, whatever you need, let me know. I'll come, I'll help. And working with him on his series, I was like, oh, I really like this. Like, I already did graphic design, I already did websites. So this was just another aspect of graphics and designs and production, which kind of fell into, what I did with my theater. So it was another aspect of production on a grander scale. There were more moving parts, more technical parts, but I really enjoyed it. And from that, we did a couple small commercials for small businesses. I was like, this is something that I really, really enjoy. We used to have a studio. We no longer have a studio. And mostly it's just me at the moment. And I like it that way. I have a lot more creative control and kind of doing a little bit of things. And I found different ways that I can, if you send me your photos or you send me your videos, then I can get out there and make you like a reel or a small commercial that is usable. I did a commercial for a woman who was running for town council. I've done graphics for people who were doing running for school board. I've done commercials for caterers and those sorts of things. And I really enjoy it. It's just time to sit down, focus in on the project at hand, kind of lose yourself for a little bit. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, does your business Second Unit Media do that? Are y'all taking clients right now to help with commercials and Zooms, or how does that process work?
That process does work. I still do certain things. Right now I'm doing a lot of web design and graphic design, a lot of flyers, but I do have the capability, like say if you wanted a commercial for your show, I could come over here with my friends with their cameras and bring the lights, and we'd set it up. We just kind of sit down and interview you like this. We could take some clips of other stuff that you've done. We could take some of your photos, put it all together with a voiceover, which I also do, and a little bit of music, and now you have a commercial that you can use. I did drops for, funny how this works, I did radio drops for Raymond Tyler a couple years ago.
Okay.
Through Raymond Tyler, he had me come sing at an event that he was having in Clementon. I met Kim, which did the Arts and Authors
Oh,
Cafe,
okay,
which is how I ended up at the cafe where I met you.
Gosh, why is that?
Now,
Okay.
I don't know where I met Ray at. I think it was Facebook. He literally reached out to me. He's like, I need somebody to do like a radio drop for me. I was like, hey, I can do that for you. So I did that for him, and here we are.
Wow, that's how God works.
Absolutely.
Your gifts will make room for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you say, okay, I might talk to you about this stuff from my
That's
business.
okay.
Yeah, because in 10 years we're trying to elevate. So get some more.
I love watching people's businesses grow, and I love being a part of the process. So if there's anything that I can do to help a business get to the next level or to get themselves out there, it's really, really fun. It's something that I enjoy doing.
Okay. Yes, indeed. So now also you mentioned that in your story, that you're an author. How's it come about being an author?
So aside from doing the play, I had a conversation with my brother one day, and from the conversation, I don't want to get too much into it because that's his story to tell. There was like a thought that stuck in my head about heavy is the head that wears the crown, and all the things that as the head of the family you have to do that kind of gets you to where you're going. And for all that my family has done and, all that they do, as the oldest, there is a perception that comes with that. There is I tell people I was always like the good girl growing up. I was, grandmom's good girl is what people would call me. And they would always, they knew my sister did this and they knew my brother did that, but they knew that I was in church. I was the one who was really, I don't want to say respectable, but reliable. I was the one organizing. Just had this conversation with my cousin. People lean on me to do things because, Keisha, they know you're good at it. And I'm like, yeah, this wasn't supposed to be my job, unfortunately. Yes, it was. As the oldest of six, not the oldest grandchild, but the oldest of six, it's just become something that people have expected of me. So I had this idea in my head, and it was something I was like, I don't know. And my business partner at the time said to me, you can write an ebook. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to really get into it. And we'd been kicking around this idea for a while. And I went to, in 2019, my daughter and I went to London. And I am terrified of flying. I hate airplanes. I really do. But I managed to not have a complete and total utter meltdown both ways. On the way over, it was a little touchy. On the way back, it wasn't too bad. But when I came back, I was just exhilarated. If I can get on an airplane and go 6 hours to London, which I absolutely hate airplanes, I can do just about anything. So came back and she was like, you should write the ebook. And that's what I did. I wrote a book called Hustle. And it was 50 pages. I called them easy readers for adults, something you can pick up and put down in about 10, 15, 20 minutes, maybe an hour if you're a slow reader, but not something that's going to consume lots of time, just something you can read really quick. And it was supposed to be a series of 6. And I got the first 2 out, and I had the third and the fourth outlined, and the pandemic happened, and you would think during the pandemic would be the time to finish, and it just never. I went, no, we're not going to do that. We'll come back to it, and I just have not circled back around to it. So I did, at the end of last year, I put together a dream journal. Again, looking at different ways that you can work with my graphics and things, and I was looking into, everybody was doing the calendars and the what do they call them, the day planners. And I was looking at it, and I'm a very, very vivid dreamer. I see movies in my head when I go to sleep. I don't really get peace. So I was like, oh, you know what? A dream journal will be nice. I always keep like a journal by my bed, but something where I can kind of think about what I was doing before bed, what I was doing, you know, those sorts of things, and then what I dreamt about. So I put this together, following some YouTube videos, and I was like, okay, I'll do a commercial for this, and then I'll, you know, put it out there. And it's still sitting. It's still waiting to be published, put out. But I do have a plan for it. I just have to make time for the plan.
Yeah, like you said, this is a year to do it.
Yeah, this is the year to do it.
I finished the book, Hustle too.
Yes.
So also you said you were a senior. Have you ever have you done or considering put out an album or a single?
So it's funny you should say that. I talked about it for the last 3 to 4 years. It's like, you know what, I do want to do one. My problem is I'm great with helping other people. I'm not so great on finishing my own things. And I still don't have confidence in myself as a singer. I'm just a person who likes to sing. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't even think I'm particularly good at it, but I like to do it. So in church, I am music director. I lead our praise and worship team, but I just love to sing. And I don't always think it's great. I don't really think that anybody would buy a single, but it's one of those things that I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll do it. Talk to a couple people, know lots of musicians, been like, oh, you know what, let's kind of sit down and do this. And it's always like, okay, well, when they finish that project, or when we finish doing this thing for this person, or, you know, oh, I've got this over here that I need to do. So once I finish this, I'll circle back around and get to this. And I just haven't done it.
Yeah, I think it's time, because like you said, you know a lot of people, but at the same time, you have to get over yourself. That you can't do it, that you have a gift, because God did not bless you that gift, not every charity.
Like, you know, it's funny, because like I said, when I first came in here, 2023 is the year that I'm supposed to get out of my own way.
Yes.
And the fact that 2 years later, from the time that you first asked me, as a matter of fact, I was looking through the text messages today when I was looking for the address. I was like, I know he sent me the address, and I was like, oh, he sent me the address in 2021. Like, wow, right? October of 2021, you sent me the address. And I just went, oh, this is awful. This is absolutely awful. So that I'm here is a testament to the fact that I am getting out of my own way. And I did like a lot of things I do now. I have like it's not a vision board, but I have like a goal sheet that I put up in my office. And it's like, here's my goals for 2023. And I haven't met any of them yet, but at the bottom of that, there is a thing for putting out a 2 to 3 song EP. And I've thought about it and I've considered it. It is on there. So by the end of 2023, I'm going to come back to the Romans experience with my song.
Okay, I'll push it to December. All right.
Well, listen, definitely by the end of 2023.
All right, yes, because I think a lot of people need to hear your story, because, like you said, you have to share testimony about your mom. And I want to ask you about this. Maybe for someone who's watching. You was married for 17 years, and you went through a divorce, separation. So, what advice would you tell someone how to move on from being divorced? What advice would you give to someone that you wish you applied to yourself at that time?
At that time, oh gosh, don't wait. I think because we got married so young, so we got married at 20, because we got married so young, I had expectations for what our marriage was going to be like that didn't quite come to fruition. And I would say probably at about 30, I realized, yeah, this isn't going to work. It's just not. It's not what I want. It's not only not what I want for myself, but also not what I want for him or for my daughter to see. And he was a really great father. You know, really great father, really, really did that. But we just stopped being friends. And once you're not friends, there was a lack of intimacy. There was just a lack of trust and a lack of a bond. And I kept thinking, you know, it'll come back around. We'll be able to make it work. But everything that we did was separate. We did very few things together. We didn't have a marriage. We had like a distant friendship, living in the same house. So, and I think like I said, I was trying to be true to my vows. I was trying to hold on to that, but should have probably recognized that you made a mistake, girl, fix it. And my trying to fix it was more of trying to make it work in a way that it just wasn't going to work. Now, the flip side of that is after, you know, the initial shock and all of the whole thing, my ex and I are actually better friends now than we were even when we were dating. We can have good conversations. I can call him for anything and he'll be there. And I recognize that he's great. He really is a great guy, just not the one for me. I wanted it. And this is one of those things where God will let you have what you want just so you can see that it wasn't really what you needed. And that's what I wanted him. He was like, this is the guy I'm going to marry. And it wasn't right. I never forget the day before my wedding, my grandfather asked me if I had prayed and asked God about the marriage and about the wedding. And I was like, are you coming or not? And he was like, did you pray? And I was like, yes, I prayed. And he didn't come. He did not show up. And because he knew that I had told him a fib and in that moment, because I had not really prayed and asked God about it. So, but I did learn a lot, and I know what I want moving forward for me. I know what I want for whoever my next, you know, who my partner is going to be. So that is different. That gives you a little bit of insight, a little bit of, yeah.
Wow, okay, that's very profound, because a lot of times at that step, a lot of times we just trying to wait, hold out, and it doesn't work, and it end up wasting time, and you can't get that time back. You can't.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
You just gotta trust God and make sure that God hears other person hears your prayers, and that they actually do the work and actually make an effort to do it. So,
absolutely.
Because marriage is definitely work. It's not easy for the faint of heart. It's not what people tell you, but at the same time, you had to do the work, and also you had to get out yourself, and also get some help.
Yes.
If you had issues that you felt that was handled before you got married, trust me, it will come out during marriage. It will come out, and then you gotta get the therapy. You gotta do the work, and a lot sometimes therapy. I'm a big proponent of therapy. And a lot of stuff I went through this past almost month, I didn't go therapy for. I had to talk to God about it. And God opened up doors, and He got me through the certain things that a therapist would have helped, but I had to test my faith, trust God.
Yes.
You gotta trust God. God's the ultimate person. Therapy is a great addition, but sometimes you gotta seek God more, because God's more important than a therapist.
Yes.
So, so I'll come more questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
So, what's next for you?
Good question. Very, very good question. I don't know. I'm not sure. I need to look at my goal sheet and say, my biggest issue is I don't have focus right now. I think I've had it for other people. I can tell someone how to, if you're starting a business, or you're getting a project off the ground, I can kind of give you step by step how to do that. I don't have that for myself at all, period. I don't. So I wrote down my goals, and this year I'm going to try and stick to my goals. Stick to the goals. jig.
So what will help you get you more focused?
I have no idea. None. That is, it's a very weird thing. I'm trying to get into, I started early morning meditation, like 6 a.m. meditation, journaling, getting my day started with my prayer and my scripture, and, going through my meditation and writing things down and trying to stay focused in that area. And then knowing, okay, once I get through the work day, I also went back to school this year, which was not in the plan, but suddenly seemed to make sense. So
to get your master's?
To actually get my bachelor's degree.
Oh, wow.
So I started college at 18 after I had my daughter, 3 months after I had my daughter. And I went for 2 years. And then my daughter got sick. She began having seizures out of the blue. So was still trying to go to school around that, and it didn't work out. So I stopped school. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I love doing websites and graphic design. I went to school. I learned how to I got a diploma in websites and graphic design and .NET programming. I did that, and I was like, oh, I'll get a job doing that, and that didn't pan out. So I've done the graphic design stuff for 20 years now. Mm-hmm. I've been doing graphic design as a part-time income sort of thing, but I never went back and got my bachelor's. So I am now working to get my bachelor's. I've got about 50 credits that I need.
Okay, so 2 semesters. No, 3 semesters. About
3 to 4 semesters.
Yeah.
So that's about it. And then I'll decide, depending on how that goes, I'll decide on whether I want to get my master's. I do want to get my master's. It's a lot right now. Mm-hmm. So thinking about that and how to focus and what comes next. I talked with someone who was like, you should bring your play back. You should bring your musical back. And I was like, okay, maybe we can do that. But then, like you said, think about doing like at least a single or an EP with 3 to 4 songs on it. Okay, maybe I can do that. So I just need to focus and prioritize. And
and that maybe word of advice, focus on what God wants you to do first.
Yes.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe some of those might come in line together, and maybe you can knock them both off at the same time.
Absolutely.
So let's think about what God wants you to do, and then follow his plan. And then He will give you what's going to do next, because you have so many things you want to share, but the thing is, you have to get focused. Yes. Focus on what thing He wants you to do now. Exactly. And then once you get more focused, He'll make your path straight. Okay, what Marquishia wants you to do. So I can't see your name wrong.
That's okay.
So my other question, come on. Well, you do a lot. Mm-hmm. Your mom, you're creative. What does Marquishia do for self-care?
Singing is actually my self-care. Singing is, I love karaoke. So for a couple years, I hosted karaoke 10, 12, 15 years ago. I have a song for everything. I can bring out a song for any occasion, any sort of thing, and singing gets me through. Whether I sing in the shower, whether I sing while I'm washing the dishes, whether I sing in my car, singing is self-care for me. If it's really, really bad, I'll go out, have something to eat, sing at karaoke, go home, feel better. Good song. Even when I'm bad, it's really funny. I shared with my friends last week, the most upbeat, depressing song I know is You Can't Win from The Wiz. But I love this song, and I put this song on whenever I'm feeling really kind of crappy. And I just sing this little goofy, depressing song until I feel better. And it's weird, but I don't know. There's something in the weirdness of singing about not being able to win that just makes me want to do better and prove that I can. So, weird. It's weird. I know. It's weird. And everybody looks at me the same way, like, really? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because, watching The Wiz as a kid was always
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know if it's the memory of it. You know, watching Michael Jackson bounce around on this pole with crows dancing and telling him that, you know, he's never going to get ahead. There's just something that's so goofy or ridiculous about it. It makes me feel good.
Okay.
I guess because that's how you, sometimes when you look at it, you know, seriously, when you're depressed and you feel like you can't get things together, it's like, how stupid is that? Like, you really, literally, again, getting out of your own way. Michael Jackson was dancing on a pole because crows told him that he couldn't get down from the pole. All he had to do was get down. Literally.
Right.
So it's one of those things, like, how ridiculous is this? But I just love that song. And it's one of my feel-good, happy things.
Okay, so what advice would you give to your younger self, and what advice would you give to yourself that you would when you was 30?
My younger self, don't pay no mind to those boys or those people. Like, seriously, just who you are at 15, 16. It's not who you're going to be at 20. It's not who you're going to be at 30. It's not even who you're going to be at 50. What they say in that moment doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. You just have to persevere and get through, just like you have to get through any other thing. It's another day. Stand up for yourself sometime. You just go, yeah, that doesn't matter. Get out of my face, get out of my way, and press forward. The same thing at 30. Just, you know what, Marquishia? Just get up and do the things that you want to do. There is nothing that says that your life is written in stone and it has to be this way. If there's something that you want to do, just go out and do it.
That's right.
Yeah. Which is why I'm here. I wanted to do this, and so here we are, finally, after 2 years.
And I'm grateful for that. So where people can find more information about you and about Second Unit Media, about your book, about your company, pretty much.
So I do have a website, secondunitmedia.com. It's the number 2 and D unitmedia.com. I'm currently revamping and revising, and I have a MarquishiaDeshea.com that is in the works. I have a Auntie Does It All that I'm working on. So a lot of different things that kind of tied in. But if you want information about the company, you can go to secondunitmedia.com. If you want information about me, you can look me up on Facebook, on Marquishia Deshea. On Instagram, I am Second Unit Media. Yeah, I think those are the only 2 things that matter. I don't use any other stuff.
Yeah, so on the Second Unit Media site, people can book a consultation with you about doing that.
You can reach out to me via the contact form to see about if you want a consultation on graphic design, if you want a consultation on production for a commercial for your small business. Once I finish Marquishia Deshea and Auntie Does It All, because they'll be tied into one, you'll be able to contact me about voiceover, about coming to sing or be a vocalist at your event. You'll be able to contact me about event consultation. Like I said, I do a little bit of everything. So I'll have it all listed, and you can reach out to me there.
Yeah, I think you need a team.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of a team. Sometimes they're a little reluctant, but I do have a team.
Yeah, do have certain parts that will make your job easier.
Yes,
you know? So
exactly.
Do the other ends and make your parts that you need focus on more easier for you.
Exactly.
So, like I said, I want to thank you for answering the call and thank you for responding to me and just
absolutely.
You know, on the show 2 years ago. I know when I first met you, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I gotta get on the show.
I know. I remember.
So it's like God proves to people that I need to connect with. So it's not like like God put designs, connect with people that they got a story. Yeah, I saw that you were a singer at the time, so I didn't know there was so many layers to your story that makes you who you are, that you overcame to be who you are today.
Yes. So
that's your work in progress, and that you're striving to be a better Marquishia.
Yes.
So, and I know you're a singer. So can you close off with one of your favorite songs? You don't know the whole song, but those some of your songs are your favorite songs.
One of my favorite songs. favorite song is one of my favorites is "Oh How I Love Jesus," and I'm actually ministering this tomorrow morning at church. But it's growing up, my mom used to sing little hymns around the house, and she would sing "Blessed Assurance" as like the lullaby for my youngest brother all the time. I was like, "What is that?" So she would sing that. But let's see. There is a name I love to hear. I love to sing its worth, and it sounds like music in my ear. The sweetest name on earth. And oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love him. Because he first loved me.
Wow. See, that's... Woo! I hope that anyone, wow. That's how I get the EP together. Woo! That was about my spirits. Wow, I hope that God's going to watch it. God lifted up that spirit because it's headed to a new weekend, headed to another week. We about to bring spring. You know, I'm praying that everyone be safe. Walk in your purpose. Walk in your purpose.
Absolutely.
Just overcome yourself, like you said. This year, overcoming you, and like I said, we're going to connect in this year. We're going to make a date.
That's right.
We had the EP come out.
Yes.
I'll make sure you finish that book.
Yes.
Because I had all this cafe. I definitely want to be part of that. So I don't know, maybe 2024. I don't know how long it'll take, but just stay focused. And, and to keep God first, like you said, God wants you, God's with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. So for those who are watching, thank you for joining us. Hope everyone's doing well. Stay blessed. Continue to be great. You know that God's with you always, forever. He never leave you nor forsake you. That you have everything inside you to be great and do anything. Just overcome yourself. And then overcome yourself, and God will be with you. He'll bring you through. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Be safe. Go outside, enjoy some fresh air, and just know that Jesus loves you and God's with you. He'll never forsake you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.